Get busy podcasting or get busy dying. That's goddamn right.
Get busy dying. I'm going back.
Yeah, it is dying. Get busy living or get busy dying. Is that the actual?
That's goddamn right.
Yep. I don't know. Is it something like Dazed and Confused?
No.
No.
I also couldn't think what Dazed and Confused was there for a second. I was like,
What
I'm
is
not
it?
sure I remember that film.
It's Matthew McConaughey.
No.
Ben Affleck's in it.
So it's good we talked about a film that it's definitely not.
I have no idea.
Get busy
You do know the
living
film.
I'm
or
sure I
get
do. I
busy
just can't
dying.
think of where it's coming from.
Oh, is it a music-based one? Is it one of those? Is it like 8 Mile or something?
Nope.
It's not 50 Cent's one.
No, it's
no,
not.
Get rich or die trying. No, it's not.
It's cult classic now. Wasn't very popular in the very beginning.
Genre.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was it Shawshank?
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
It's the
fine.
most known flop
Yeah.
at the cinema /
When did he say that?
Can't remember.
Red says it. Morgan Freeman
There you go.
Yeah, I'm trying to think when.
In the film.
in the film.
no,
Yeah.
at some point, yeah. We got that.
Okay, well, Matthew got there quickest, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever got there.
No.
So
sorry. We managed to skip to the point where Dominic says an innuendo very early on.
Well done. Right.
Right.
Any more?
Well, no.
No.
It's only one
No.
per episode. It's not the quiz.
Oh,
That's
okay,
every other week. So you've tuned into the wrong week if you're here for the quiz.
If you're here for innuendos, wrong week.
Exactly. I must apologise because I'm sure that people are going to say I sound a bit weird this week because everybody at work keeps saying, you sound like you're ill. And I might be a little bit ill. So I probably sound quite nasally.
I think that's just what you sound like when you're not ill. Maybe you're always ill and now you're not.
God, isn't that a nice way to start a podcast? By the way, I think you're always sick.
Yeah, but I'm saying you're not right now.
Okay. Flip that on me.
yeah, no answer to that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
There we
before
go.
I ask you general questions,
Yes.
obviously I've been watching the stats again.
All
Okay.
good.
We've made it to another island in Europe. Not Ireland
Not
before you go
Ireland.
there. We've still not got Ireland. They hate us.
Another island, not
Spelled Island,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Not,
One of the Greek islands, is it?
No, it is not. I'm not sure they differentiate between some of those Greek islands.
Okay.
another island. Did we make it? Did we make it to Iceland?
I don't
can't
think we
remember.
have
No.
from
No.
memory. No.
The last one was Malta.
Malta was
wasn't
the
it?
last one. That's what I
That
remember.
was,
yes.
yeah.
And we made it to Cyprus.
I think we have been to Cyprus
Right.
before. You're now testing me on my knowledge without having it in front of me, but
Other islands. Did we make it to the UK?
Jersey. Were we already in Jersey?
oh, absolutely smash that, Dominic.
Yeah,
We've
yes.
made the Channel Island of Jersey, the largest Channel Island, I'll add. Yeah, we've had
Nice.
randomly a spike of
A spike of listens.
a
from
spike
some-
of listens from Jersey. Somebody's out there. Either one person's downloaded everything or he's spreading the good word.
Mm.
Well, that's either way.
Hi, Jersey listener.
There we go.
Yeah, if it is
Get in
you,
touch.
absolutely get in touch using at Top 5 Films that, and
Yeah.
we'll make a special mention to our Jersey listener or
Oh.
listeners.
It might be listeners. You're right.
Very
Maybe.
intrigued.
To be a group.
Maybe somebody has a weekly thing in the pub where they put us on or something like that. Actually, it's more than one listener. It's a gathering of people.
Mm. Here's hoping.
What
Yeah,
we get-
that's really-
hold on.
I hope they are.
That's an
pretty
interesting
cool.
question as well because one of our regular listeners came up with what the collective noun for our listeners will be called.
Oh, what like Lady Gaga has her monsters.
Yeah. What would at Top 5 Films that people be called?
Would someone came up with one?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember what he came up with.
Okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah,
Do you think it's to do with our surname?
Yeah. Must be.
how are you going to...
I don't know.
That just means... all I can get in my head is Swaffers now, and you're
Yeah,
like,
that's
you can't
already
be
our
that,
name.
that's us.
Mm.
So, let's...
Swaffles.
The waffle. I was going for waffles. That's all I've got in my head. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Unless
like
people
it.
call it Swafer.
I think people should get in touch with ideas of...
There must be a good pun in there somewhere.
Am I saying it right? The collective noun for listeners?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I doubted myself again there.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Other than listeners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty boring.
Mm-hmm. All good.
Okay. Well, let's move straight on. We've got an icebreaker. When was the last time...
Dom's face just lit up like he couldn't remember about that one. Are you just going to have to make it up on the spot now?
No, I definitely thought about it because I replied.
He even praised me and said, that's a good one.
idea.
But he hasn't even bothered to prepare.
No. We're going to start with Dom.
So, Dom, when was the last time that watching a film got awkward?
I'm trying to think of a specific film, but I can't.
Are you going to be cliched now?
Awkward. It could have been awkward with...
No, don't give him ideas.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We're putting him on the spot.
I don't think it's ever been awkward with one of the boys or Evie.
You haven't watched
I'm
the
hoping you're
films,
not watching. Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, I think I've not got awkward with. It's probably going to be with Mum at some point. I'm trying to think what film would have made me feel awkward.
Okay, let me help you out here because there is one situation which was awkward and I was with Mum, but it's not what you're thinking. So I found it really awkward. I was at the cinema once. We went to watch, I think it was Spider-Man. And I've clearly gone at a time when people want to take their kids. And it gets really awkward when you want to turn to parents and ask them to parent properly in the cinema because these kids were going unruly. And it just got awkward for me because I really wanted to snap either at the kids or at the parents and be like, I paid for these tickets.
So hang on. The awkwardness for you was that people in the cinema were not behaving properly.
Cinema etiquette is something that should be taught at school.
Okay, right. On that note, it was quite awkward. Yeah. It was quite awkward the other day. I went to cinema recently.
Oh.
He's in a competition now because we brought up the other week who's been to the cinema most that Matthew's winning.
It's more because there was a good film that came on, but
right.
It was a U. So there was loads of kids in the cinema, and then 2 fully grown adults came in, obviously some couple, started just drinking beer while watching.
You're allowed to do that, though.
Yeah, but it was so odd.
Now,
what time of the day was it?
Now, this is weird, because I've been that
2 o'clock in the
couple.
afternoon.
That's okay.
My wife and I we didn't drink beers, but we went and saw Minions when it came out, and we were the only people without kids. And that is awkward because people look at you like, when are your kids turning up?
See, right, I've got a good one that's a bit based on that. When we went to see Phantom Menace recently, we took our kids, and it wasn't necessarily a kids showing, but because it was the 25th anniversary, and my wife had a slight cold and couldn't hear very well out of one of her ears, so was reading the trail to my daughter. But because she couldn't hear, she was basically reading it for the entire audience. I didn't really realise.
Oh,
so
my
she was
God.
reading out the trail
That
at the
would be
beginning of Star Wars.
That would be awkward for me because that is not cinema etiquette.
No, it's not. No. But were you drinking beers when you went to see Minions?
No,
and
I don't.
What time was the showing?
No, I don't think so. Although we were at one of the cinemas where you could drink. Yeah.
Yeah, and they brought their own cans. That's the.
What, like out of a backpack?
Yeah, out of a backpack, yeah.
It's cheaper that way.
They had 4 tinnies each, and they were sitting there, and just like, and they were right next. And I was
super tenants.
Nice.
No, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember, but yeah, that was awkward. But yeah.
Okay.
I have an awkward one because mine wasn't the awkward one.
No, I've got another one, but that has just provoked.
So we recently watched Ghostbusters.
How does Ghostbusters get awkward?
Which one?
The first Ghostbusters, the
1984
original,
Ghostbusters. Matthew found it awkward with your kids.
Yep. It was awkward. There's a scene where Ray is sleeping and having a dream about a ghost undoing his trousers.
Is there?
Yeah, and it's yes. And
love it. Okay.
I think you probably missed it when you watched it when you were younger because I didn't think of anything of it at the time. But watching it back this time, I was thinking, okay, that's.
He's got a penchant for the dead.
It's a beautiful lady ghost.
Oh, that makes it okay.
Apparently, and then you see his fly. She disappears, and you see his flies open, and then he falls out of bed because it's a dream.
So it's not a dream.
He's dreaming about the ghost. Go watch it. Go watch that scene.
But you said his flies open. I thought this had actually happened now, but obviously not in real life. But okay,
well, there we go. Okay.
The only one I got was a bit weird. Is watching Saltburn's a little bit weird. If you feel a bit awkward.
Who are you watching it with?
My wife, but even then, watching her face. when he's got blood on his, it's just like okay.
I still haven't seen it.
No, it's a nice bath scene. That's
I've heard about that one.
Yeah, again, I think at that point, you don't know whether to look at each other and make a face, like that's weird, or do you just ignore it and look straight at the screen?
It goes quiet.
And then it's even more awkward. You've made it awkward.
But that's awkward for myself. I don't have to acknowledge it's awkward for both of us.
Nice.
Yeah, Katie wasn't awkward.
No,
she was like, yeah.
No, I think she found that awkward as well.
I thought it was all right. I wasn't awkward.
We know my feelings on it. So now we've got that out the way, our little icebreaker. Now we're on to the main challenge. So we chose Tom Hanks because Dominic brought him up in the quiz. If you haven't listened, I'm absolutely on fire. That's for people who haven't listened.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a burning mess. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. For people who haven't listened,
right.
I am absolutely rocking it.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to listen to tell me otherwise.
Yeah,
exactly. So we picked number 3 because Tom Hanks was following 3 people.
Yes.
And that was number 3, top 5 films that reference either of the world wars. And we alluded, Matthew, to the idea of when we conceived this.
Yes.
There must have been something in our brain that thought there must be loads of references to the world wars.
So when I heard the title, I sort of got quite downhearted slightly because I'm not a fan of war films in general. And I
can second this.
I wonder whether we said reference them because then we could find films that were not necessarily war films but did talk about a war or reference a war. And I think that's why we came up with it.
But then we also checked, we actually have
a war film.
A top 5 war films.
Then I don't know.
I'm looking forward to that one. So that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
So Dominic, are you a war film person?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, I would have said he is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's not necessarily a crime thriller, is it, if it's set in the World War?
No, it's Tempo Ryan. You got the Full Metal Jacket.
Whoa. Don't start streaming them off.
Well, if you've got them, then you've not done it properly.
He's got some action. Oh, what do you mean?
Oh, see?
Yeah.
You've not done it properly.
I think war films for Dom is a nice bit of action, a nice bit of gore, a nice bit of physical...
Someone's leg needs to be blown off.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, I could see you liking that a lot.
Or other body parts.
Or other body parts, yeah.
Okay, because I went in with the best intentions of what Dominic is trying to allude to, I think. You said you played a huge part on reference.
100%.
Yeah, but I found it really difficult to find non-war films that reference part of it. Now, Dominic
I am very proud of myself this week. So, yeah, okay.
Okay. All right.
So, with my reference, I have made sure that it's not primarily about the World War.
Yes, I've done the same.
It has the World War involved in it, but that's not the main storyline-ish.
Okay, so you've got side stories that go alongside the war.
You can?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the war is not, to me, the war was not the focal point of the movie.
Yeah, because if it was a war film, in my eyes, something has to be won. They tend to conclude. Whereas this might not conclude everything of the World War.
I think we need to see what we've come up with. I think.
Do you think we'll have any duplicates? Because I don't think I've got any with Dominic.
You won't duplicate mine.
I don't know. This is where we find out we've all got identical top 5 lists.
It might be one.
I reckon we've got a duplicate.
I've got a question then, Dom.
Yeah.
You must have literally... There's very little research you can do for this. You must remember these films. Correct. Referencing them.
That must be true.
So, I remembered... What I did was... I remembered 1 or 2 films, which we'll get into, that reference a certain part of the World War, and that's it. And then the rest of the film is completely different. Nothing to do with it at all.
I'm intrigued.
And then based on that, I did a bit of a search and was like...
so do they all reference the same part of said war?
3 of them do.
Oh my goodness.
What?
I'm even trying to think.
Wow, I want to hear his list.
No, I want to have a think.
And then one of them
what events
is just something that's spoken about, and that's it.
Now, I'll also caveat, like Matthew said, I am not a big war film fan. Even more so, I am not a big historian.
Oh, it depends. I suppose maybe
Depends
I don't
on
like
what,
history films. Depends what it's about.
I did geography rather than history at GCSE. As we've talked about before,
I did both.
my mother has put me off history by dragging me around many a stately manor.
I don't like Tudor times. No, but that's because it was.
I can't do a period drama.
No.
But then I wonder at what point does period drama stop and become more modern? Because
Present.
well, yeah, but is an 80s now a period drama?
No.
It was 70s. Like my point is.
That's weird because this week,
point does it?
this
become
week I
period
saw
drama?
people talking about the 90s is like when we used to talk about the 60s in the 90s. It's the same time period these days.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's very true.
Crazy, right? We're old. Well, actually, Matthew's the only one who's
I'm
40.
the only one old. You're old soon.
Yeah.
But anyway,
You're
let's
getting
move on.
You're getting there. Yeah, please.
So,
Come on
who is going to kick us off?
Jeremy is. I've
I'd
decided
like to go
on the way.
last, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because you think you're out there.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
so if we can...
So we can argue more with him.
I don't think you can argue at all.
Oh, I see what he's doing. He's going to be nice to us and say they're good, and then when we get to him, we'll argue less because he's been nice. He's setting
Okay.
us up.
I think that's every podcast.
Here we go then. I'm off with my number 5.
Number
Please
5.
do, yeah.
2011.
I have quite a few 2011s, I think.
Oh, gosh. Matthew, this is how the game works. You...
I do. I
No.
have 2. I have 2011s.
You let me go a little further than that,
Okay, cool.
and then you say, I definitely have this.
I reckon I have this.
12A,
Yeah, keep going. I reckon I have this.
2 hour 4. Have you written down the times now?
I have. I think I have this, and I think I also have this at number 5.
No. Action, adventure, sci-fi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Those.
Although it took me a while to think why sci-fi.
Is that misleading then, is it?
It's, well, because it's not based in reality, and there is a bit of science.
Oh, very loosely.
Yeah.
Okay. Genre?
Well,
Oh,
action,
sorry, no,
adventure,
is it-
sci-fi.
Is it a superhero film?
Well, is Jeremy's a superhero film?
Or is yours a superhero film? Oh, here we go. This is classic.
Okay.
We're now confusing everybody who's listening at home.
And me. Yeah, go on, yeah.
So I'll give you the reference. It's World
Yeah.
War II.
Okay.
I think all mine are World War II, but World War II. And I've got a quote.
Okay.
Do you want to kill Nazis? And the other guy says, is this a test? He goes, yes. He says, I don't want to kill anyone. I don't like bullies. I don't care where they're from.
Yeah, I've got this one. I think this is my number 5 as well. I'm pretty sure it is. I didn't have to have many clues for this one because I thought it'd be quite easy to get.
Yeah, this is the first film that had a reference. Like, I thought it was just...
What's the
it's
reference?
a side part of the film, if we're honest, but it's not really when you think about it.
It's not about the war, but the war is happening. Is that right?
Yeah, it is during wartime.
Have you got a tagline?
No, go for
I
a
have
tagline.
Go so
on.
the tagline for my number 5, which I think is the same, is "When Patriots Become Heroes."
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
And it's not a superhero film.
it is a superhero.
It is a superhero
Oh, okay,
film.
fine. When Patriot... Oh, okay. Is it Captain America?
It is Captain
Which
America.
one?
Oh, the first one.
First Avenger.
It is the first Avenger. Yeah.
Oh, see, okay. That was on my list, but yeah, I agree. It does reference it.
But it's actually a
It's
heavy
also-
part of it.
It is a big heavy part of it because it's an
But-
origin story, and it's an
But
origin
it's not the
during
real
the
war. It's not the real war because he's fighting Hydra, isn't he?
Well, no, their argument is this is something that we don't know that happened,
But that's my point.
but happened
yeah.
because it does reference a lot of things that happened in the World War. So we start up, as you say, with an origin story. He signs up.
Yep.
He doesn't get in
No.
because he's not strong enough or anything like that. And then
Yeah.
the sci-fi part of it, there's a miraculous
Mhm.
Stanley Tucci which is I've
That's
forgotten it was him. He basically gives him this medicine, doesn't he?
Serum, yeah. whatever it is,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make him a
and
super strong soldier.
and then he goes to fight the Nazis. Well, actually, he goes on a tour
I
first,
was about to
pretending
say,
to be someone.
Isn't he more of a figurehead?
It's propaganda,
It's the
isn't
sort
it?
of thing. Yeah, he's a figurehead to begin with, and then he chases someone down because he's such a good
Well, he gets frustrated.
American hero.
He
Yeah,
gets
'cause they-
frustrated that he doesn't go on the front line, and then basically decides, well, I'm going to go.
Oh,
Isn't it
yeah,
'cause they
don't-
captured his friend.
No,
Bucky.
that happens during it.
I thought that's why he went at the end and
He does
On a
go to
rampage.
there because he knows that Bucky is there.
yeah,
That they have been captured in the Red
his
Red
regiment.
Skull's
Yeah.
Yes.
cave.
See, I'm quite pleased because this was the one I had for Jeremy. This was my guess for
Oh,
Jeremy.
nice one.
So I'm quite pleased.
I'll be honest with you, it was
one.
between this and one other very similar one, but I went for this one.
It's a good choice. It was my number 5 as well. I think
High fives on the number 5.
So I didn't choose it purely because I think it's
it too much?
It's too much war.
film?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was my point.
Okay.
I thought he was going to say because it's not the real war.
No, but that to me, but it does reference Nazis, which obviously is
Very much references the World
Yeah.
War.
Yeah, I mean,
It's happening at the same time.
there's a war room and they're talking about.
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
Okay.
I'd say it's just based on. I was trying to go very.
Good.
Well,
It's a good
seeing as
choice.
we've done our 5,
We have done our 5s. It must
we
be,
hand
must
over
be
to you,
Dominic's turn.
Dominic.
Okay. 2005
Okay.
PG
PG. No, I don't think I've got
Yeah.
any PGs.
6.9 out of 10. 2 hours 23.
Ooh,
Keep going.
PG.
Yeah, PG.
Some of the clues are.
It's gonna be. Yeah, keep going.
You were
Go
thinking
on.
kids film.
I am.
Go for
Yeah.
it. Go on.
Is it a kids film?
I thought you were going to guess at the film.
No, I'm not going to guess at the film because I'm going to be so far off, and you might as well give me some more info.
Fine. So it's based on this particular film is based on a book, but it comes from a like an 8-book collection.
Okay, I am going to guess.
Go on then.
Rocketeer.
No.
Okay.
They've
So hold on. 8-part collection of books.
Yeah, so there's 8 books in this.
You sure there's 8? There's not 7.
No,
You thinking Harry Potter?
No.
Oh,
there's 8. I looked it up. I didn't know how many there were, so I looked it up.
Okay.
But 3 of them have been made into films.
Yeah, I think I would
Percy
go
Jackson's?
for a guess. No, I'm going to guess Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, there's 8 books.
There's 8 books. I
8
thought
books in the
said.
collection, yeah.
Okay.
And it is, yes. The Chronicles of Narnia, because they are
The original one.
evacuees. The original one, yeah, The Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe.
it is on my list of vulnerable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously
Why
Go on.
that one and not
they don't reference it as much, or they're not during in the second one, Prince Caspian. It doesn't really reference it as much, as in they're still in.
So
They've gone back to London.
they're
now, so-
evacuees, aren't they, in the
Yeah.
first film? Is that why they're evacuees from World War II, the Blitz?
World War II bombings,
and that's
yeah,
how they get to the place with the wardrobe.
Yes.
which is
Is
Jim
it
Broadbent.
World War One or World War Two?
World War II.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they go to Jim Broadbent, who's the professor. That's his
I
house.
haven't really watched these films.
But that is the only reference to the war, because the rest of it
set
is
in
in
Narnia.
Narnia.
Yeah, I'm trying to think whether that's which one I like the best out of the 3 of them. Weirdly, I think I can remember Voyager Dawn Treader better.
Is that the third one? 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't think I've seen that one.
That's with Will Poulter, and they are in that house again. But maybe the war's over at that point. I can't remember.
And that's what in the second one. There's a real small reference at the beginning where they're
Aren't they in the underground?
They're in the underground. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he has a fight. And that's how it starts. But
Were they going to make more than 3 of them? Were they going to try and make the whole set of books?
Some of
most
those
of them.
are incredibly dark though. We did the Silver Chair at school,
Is
and
that a prequel though?
but it's dark.
Okay.
I remember thinking, oof.
yeah, no, I don't know what the intention was, but they made 3 quite quickly.
Okay. Well, you've got to keep the
I-
kids reasonable age.
I have a feeling
Yeah.
they'll be rebooted at some point.
I'm sure they will.
Or series.
I didn't like Prince Caspian because none of the Narnians were actually in it for quite a lot of the film.
I don't
If
think
you-
I
I'm not
like
gonna
the
ruin it for you,
styling of
but
it.
yeah.
I don't think I like the styling of it much.
First films, but to me, much better, like The White Witch, etc.
I can remember watching the BBC version. Is the
Yes,
funny thing.
I remember that.
That was like a series.
Around Christmas.
And it just because it was like a weekly thing at one point.
Yeah, but it was I'm sure it was lead up to Christmas on BBC.
yeah, probably
Was it Tilda Swinton was the White Witch?
Correct, yeah.
in that one, not the BBC
No, not the
version.
BBC
that was
one.
quite a way ago. She did.
And then James McAvoy is Mr. Tumnus.
See, I can only remember the scary movie version. I can't remember. It's not scary movie. Which one of the silly versions?
Is it
was
not? Is it
It
not
was
another
like-
teen or
It was
something
like
like
an
that?
epic movie or something.
Oh, okay.
Got you.
I can remember those
Yeah.
because
But I've watched it recently, and yeah, it just came to mind that the reference element it's probably about 5-10 minutes of the film.
okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I understand.
No, that's good. I can
I'll
see the
take that.
reference. I agree
Yeah.
with the reference. I'm not sure I'd have chosen that because I'm not sure I'm that interested in the movie. But that's
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
Period drama. That's why.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
Not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really, because it is for some of it. But
Well,
when we get
apart
to
from the
Narnia,
fancy
there's
bit, it's a
no...
period drama up until that point.
right.
Yeah, anyway.
Matthew's ready to fight today, Dominic.
Yeah, I know,
I can
I can
feel
tell.
it.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
He's come pumped up, as we know from before recording.
Yeah.
I was being annoying, wasn't I?
Very.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not in the same
Yeah.
mood as you, but yeah.
Well,
I
you
feel
go,
like
you can. How about you move on to your number 4
I am going to.
before we start a
Please
fight?
do.
1989.
There we go, Jim.
Ooh.
Blimey.
Oh, quite old.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it could be as old as the war, couldn't it? Let's be honest.
Good.
But 1989, PG, 2 hours 7.
PG.
PG. Well, yours was PG.
Yeah, no, but you said it as if.
1989 PG. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Action adventure.
Okay.
I've got a couple. It's World War II again, obviously, because of the Nazis.
Mhm.
Okay.
There you go. There's a clue.
Oh, okay. So there's Nazis in
The
this
Nazi
one.
play a big part in it? Or is that the only
Well, one of the
reference?
quotes I have is, Nazis, I hate these guys.
Is it one of the Indiana Jones?
It is one of the Indiana Jones.
PG.
Is it Last Crusade?
It is The Last Crusade, because we talked about this the other day, and I had a choice between, I think only 2 of them, because I only recognise 3.
I only recognise 3 of the Indiana Jones.
There are
I
only
agree
3
with you.
Indiana Jones.
You're not
And-
wrong.
And that
No,
is
true, yeah.
my favourite of those 3.
Oh,
But yeah, so you had this
I
for
did.
the completely misplaced grumpy character, which I still don't think is grumpy.
Have you rewatched it since?
Nope.
Was this Indiana Jones' dad, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
quite a happy chap
Sean
in my
Connery.
head. But obviously,
not.
there's the Nazis are prevalent in it. Basically, they want the Grail to give them advantage during the war. So it is
They do.
during,
It's during
the
the
war.
war. That's right.
And they are very prominent because they're in uniform for quite a few of the scenes. Dominic's favourite is the blimp before he says it.
Is this the one where he meets Hitler?
Doesn't-
Doesn't Hitler
Yeah, he
sign
passes
sign
by-
the
He
signs
book?
passes him, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Hitler signed his
He
book.
signs the Mein Kampf book, isn't
No, I think he signs his dad's diary.
You're right.
it? Yes, I remember. I remember that bit.
It's it's the way
That's
in which he
definitely
gets through.
referencing the war.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Good call.
I thought that. I thought, do you know what? I like that film. It's definitely wartime, but it's side plot, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
What the war is?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is.
So it references the war. It's not pivotal.
No, the war is just the time frame that they've decided that Indiana Jones exists in.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense because the bad guys are them who think it's going to... I love how they put in this, by the way, when I was reading it into it. They said they think it might give them an advantage in the war. I'm going to say that if you can resurrect all your dead people, probably going to be all right.
Got a pretty good army. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, even if
Like
they're
Lord
not,
of the Rings.
even if they're not very good, you're going to have them again and again and again till they
Yeah.
are good.
Or dust. Till they're dust.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But,
I'm hoping the war wasn't going to last that long.
No, but you could blow them to bits.
Yeah, but they just.
Oh, okay. I never
fine,
thought of
yeah.
it like that.
Trying to work out strategic ways to destroy
Depends
zombies.
what kind of death they are, because there's different references, aren't there?
Yeah, do you know what? I never thought of that. During the middle of the war, people might be blown up and you might not be able to give them a serum or a water.
That's why it might have given them a edge.
Yeah. That makes more sense now.
Yeah. Might. Yes, true.
Might. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad I've explained what is a really
Because a
random
bullet-
plot point in
No, but
Indiana
you're
Jones
right.
and the Last Crusade.
A bullet would have been okay as long as you got there in time, I guess. Because I guess it doesn't resurrect. I don't know. I'm just making assumptions.
Oh, it doesn't resurrect. You're right.
It,
It
won't
just heals.
resurrect. It heals. So you have to get there in time, and they've only got one. You are taking that with your special forces, aren't you? You're not taking that with the plebs on the front line.
No,
I
that's-
can't believe I just called them plebs on the front line.
Oh,
I'm going to
well.
get so much criticism for that.
They have a,
The heroes on the
healing
front
serum.
line.
Yes, that will die very quickly. No, the Grail would have been with Hitler.
Well, that's not going to give him an advantage.
Well,
Oh, he's taking the pill. Oh, give him the water.
Can you not
I
decant
just did the
it?
pill.
Can you not just decant it into loads of bottles
Maybe.
if we wanted to?
Where
Yeah,
is
so
this? This conversation's got away from us.
No, hold
Get a
on.
lid. Get a lid for it.
No, hold on. You have to drink out of the Grail. You can't pour water in and then pour water out and it's okay.
I mean,
So
if
are
we,
these
if,
written rules,
if we, I mean, if you're going to talk about the actual movie, it only works in a certain zone anyway. So
As soon as you cross the threshold.
that's right. It doesn't work
Yeah.
anymore. You can't take it beyond the threshold.
No. Hold on.
After they found
Technicalities. Technicalities, yeah. They just say you can't take it past the threshold and then it disappears. If you ran really
It didn't
quickly.
disappear. It caused an earthquake.
Yeah, but if you ran really quickly and kept running away from it, surely you're okay.
You'd have to be constantly running. You're running away from what?
This is a weird rabbit hole we've gone
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
what's
This
going
is a
on
whole
here.
different podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting technicality, Jeremy.
Yeah. Oh, you've just.
Are you,
Theoretical thinking.
are you going to be able to sleep tonight, or are you going to go home thinking, would the Grail have helped the Nazis?
Well, now I've got so many questions about this Grail.
Email George Lucas.
Could you take it? But if you got it past the threshold and you didn't like wave it around like that woman did and then drop it,
I think
would
the
it
point
be
is,
all right?
I think the point is it wouldn't allow
Wouldn't allow
itself
it
to
to
be
go past
taken
it.
over the threshold. That was my.
so why that
reading.
place with the booby traps?
Well, they built the booby traps around it. It was in Jordan, wasn't it? Where the Grail
Somewhere like
would have
that,
been
yeah.
originally.
Okay.
Okay, well,
I literally have 100 more questions to ask about it
I'm
now.
not sure
But
I
let's
can
leave it
answer
there
Okay.
because I think we've just wasted about 12 minutes on it.
There's an extra.
Here we go.
There's a bonus episode in the making.
But no, I agree that does. It's once again, it's
Does
Matthew,
references it
I shall
heavily.
pass this on. Number
Okay.
4.
my number 4. My number 4. So I'm almost positive that neither of you have got this. Okay.
Well,
So-
keep going.
okay.
So it is a 12A. It is 1 hour 50 minutes. It's only 6.1 on IMDb. I thought it got quite a poor reception when it came out. It's from 2011. I'm going to read you something that I sort of, when I was researching, that it was like a plot point, and I thought this would help or hinder.
Okay.
So, the main character in it is dancing as a distraction. During one of her dances, she fantasizes about infiltrating a bunker protecting a World War I German soldiers to gain a map.
Is it? Do you know what? Is it?
Tank Girl.
No, it's the one. It's.
If Dom would be the one to know
She's
this.
in an insane asylum.
She is. It's yeah. So the character's name's a baby doll.
Yeah.
Sweet Pea, Rocket.
See, is
Blondie,
this the war?
Amber.
Though?
Well, she
Is it one of the
fantasizes
World War?
about World War One.
Is it World War One?
World War One.
Can we
down.
stop talking
Sorry,
in
sorry.
code? I'm literally
Have you
watching
remember
this
what the film is?
back
Wait,
and
wait.
forth.
I've got Punch in my head. I'm trying to think what it is. But what is it? What is it? Go on.
I'll tell you the characters. So the
Donkey.
no, you're close. It is Punch.
That's
not
something
Donkey
else,
Punch.
isn't it?
It's got Emily Browning in
That's
it.
on a completely
Sucker
different.
Punch.
Sucker Punch.
There you go.
Sucker Punch.
I-
Directed by Zack Snyder.
That's
before
one of the
you
other-
get all funny.
That's one of the other top 5. What a late
Please do
version.
not Google that.
So yeah, no, she.
Oh,
There
okay.
are 5 different parts where she's dancing and therefore fantasizing and
Mhm.
sort of
Yeah.
going off into her brain, because the whole storyline is that she has an abusive father who's put her in an asylum to be lobotomized because she accidentally killed her sister, I think, right at the beginning.
A happy one then.
Yeah, it's
It's
not a
really
particularly
not.
happy film, but it's
Yeah.
I mean, there is this. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, but it didn't really get that good a reception.
I really enjoyed it when
Yeah.
I watched it, but I didn't realise it was World War One because I thought at one point they weren't fighting real people.
Well, no, they weren't. That was another one of the dances. She was fighting orcs in one of them. She was
Yeah.
fighting robot samurais in another one. So every time she did a dance, she sort of disappeared into her head, and then the
Escapism, wasn't it? Really,
in order for them to escape the asylum, they had to get these items. And so in the dream world that she created while doing dancing, it became these places. And one of them was World War I trenches with the Germans in order to get a map, because they needed to take a map or some sort of schematics from a room in the asylum. Yeah.
Mm.
What you just described there, I feel like I'm dreaming at the moment.
It is a very.
Have you
weird
not seen
film.
it?
I've not seen it, but it sounds very lucid, like that Emma Stone and thingy, what Jonah Hill thing we both randomly have watched on Netflix.
It's not far. I mean, it's clearly that it's supposed to be a dream. It felt very. I thought it was a graphic novel, but it wasn't. It wasn't based on a graphic novel, but it had that sort of feel to it. Like I said, it was directed by Zack Snyder, but it has Oscar Isaac in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As one of the orderlies. And it's got Vanessa Hudgens is in it.
Is that when she was going through the I'm not Disney phase?
Yeah, I think so. It was
Yeah.
2011, so it
Okay.
would have been around about just
She did.
after.
She went.
What
I'm
rate-
not Disney anymore. I'm going to
I've
do
done
all
too
these
much
weird
high school
films.
musicals.
Yeah.
What rating was this? 15, was it?
It's a 12A.
12A.
It's a 12A.
Not sure I'd say that. But
No, I know there's some pretty heavy stuff going on.
Well, then,
in
as
there.
a parent, you can say no.
you definitely should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite heavy.
It's
it
like
is a very
needles to
heavy.
the eye type.
Well, they're
scenes
trying
and
to
things like that.
lobotomize her. There's death. There's
lots of
abuse. All sorts of horrible stuff going on.
Right, one for the daytime then. Got
Yeah.
It's a good film. It's very weird. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my number 4. And also it has a very dark soundtrack. There's a song I remember really liking, which was Emily Browning singing "Sweet Dreams," the Eurythmics
nice.
cover.
Well, Matthew's number 4 is Sucker Punch.
And I agree, because that is a reference.
That is a good reference. That is a very small reference.
Right. Okay, but Dominic, your number 4 reference is...
My reference, it references Hiroshima in a flashback. So I'm going to say it's 2013.
Is it a comedy film?
No. PG-13. 6.7 out of 10. And 2 hours 6 minutes, just for everyone out there.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Quite
part
average.
Part of the Marvel universe.
Right.
Part of a
superhero film, then.
It references the atomic bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
it's not Marvel.
Sorry?
That's what you just said.
Yeah, but he says Marvel Universe. Is it
X-Men.
No. It's
Wolverine.
It's Wolverine, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, the origin one, yeah.
No, not the origin one.
Not the origin one.
Just the Wolverine. It's the second of the trilogy.
I've not seen the Wolverine.
It's about, based on when he goes to Japan, because
he does go to Japan.
The first scene is
one of the
flashbacks is where
movie.
The Hiroshima goes off and he jumps down a well and saves someone, and that person then becomes extremely rich and owns a tech company.
I do remember that now.
And then wants to take Wolverine's immortality away from him and give it to himself.
God, there's so many films with Wolverine in
there are lots.
Completely lose which one's which.
12 films now.
There are. I think.
Is that including the new one?
No.
The World Wars are referenced in those quite a lot, I think.
Well, it makes sense because he's immortal.
Yeah,
he lived through one of them, I believe. I can't remember which one it is. He with the Beast. They're fighting in all sorts of different wars, like the English Civil War, and then World War One, and then World War Two. So there is a reference there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you haven't picked more than one Wolverine film.
No, I haven't. No.
Okay.
Because I don't remember.
I wouldn't put it past him.
No,
sometimes.
I know. It's Wolverine 1 and 5.
That's why they all reference
3.
it. No. But so that it's a flashback. So it's about.
I do remember that.
About a 2-minute clip, and then it. Yeah. He is in Japan after that, but that's the reference to the World War. Is that
is a reference?
That is a good reference. How did you come up with those?
Yeah, like my brain doesn't go like that.
I remembered it. I remembered that one.
Right.
I reckon that's the event then, isn't it? You've got how many atomic bomb blow-offs have you got? You've got the mushroom on all of them. What's the right word then?
Mushroom
explosion.
Clouds?
Oh, sorry if I said that afterwards.
Blow-offs.
What is it?
Blow up, if anything. It's not blow off's like a fart.
No, because it doesn't entirely
blow off is a fart.
It doesn't do that entirely, does it? Because it sends waves out.
Technically implodes as well, doesn't it? But
I think you're arguing a weird thing. You basically used the word fart when you meant explosion.
Yeah. Which is a type of explosion.
Both of which are explosions. Yeah.
There we go. That's my number 4. The Wolverine.
The Wolverine.
Okay.
Nice.
On to my number 3.
Your number 3. Yes, please, Jeremy.
2019.
That's pretty new.
Okay.
12A.
Right.
1 hour 48. 7.9 out of 10, I'll add.
That's pretty good. That
comedy.
is pretty good.
Comedy drama war.
Comedy drama war. Oh, so it has got that war in it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely World War II. Set in Germany.
Right. I reckon I know.
20 what?
I haven't seen
2019.
this movie. I haven't seen this movie, but I think I know what it is.
It was a PG, wasn't it?
Is it?
It's a 12A.
12A, sorry. Yeah.
Is the guy? What's his name? Taika Waititi. Is it? He's the director, right?
Is that
he is also in it. Yes.
Is that the pajama thing? Jojo.
Yes.
Did you say pajama?
I thought he was wearing pajamas in it for some reason. Yeah. God.
He plays Adolf.
He plays Adolf, does he?
He is Jojo's imaginary friend Adolf, who is dressed as Adolf Hitler.
I've never seen that.
Have you not?
Haven't either, but I have heard it's very good.
It's very good. It's funny. It's thought-provoking. It literally has a bit of everything. If I give you a couple of quotes, just to give you an idea, Jojo says, "Nothing makes sense anymore." And somebody says, "Yeah, I know, definitely not a good time to be a Nazi." And like they're literally... The whole film is about, is it right being a Nazi?
So is it set during the war?
During the war.
After the war?
So it's during the war.
Right.
And without trying to spoil things for people at home, it brings into the question of who's the good guy.
Yes, because isn't so. What I understand, it's almost like he thinks that Hitler is the good guy, which is why he's his imaginary friend.
Yeah, he pretty much goes to like a kids' Nazi club.
Right, but his mum is Scarlett Johansson, right?
Correct.
And she doesn't think that Hitler is the good guy.
She doesn't understand it, no.
Gotcha.
But she doesn't at the same time want to tell her son that he's wrong.
Yes.
He just she questions a lot.
And that's the plot, is it? There's his imaginary friend is.
I think
and
he's got Hitler as an imaginary friend. I mean, it's quite amusing. I mean, it's a bonkers story.
Absolutely bonkers. And he basically thinks like there's a lot of propaganda that's going around, and he believes it entirely to be true. So about certain cultures or things like that.
Good bit of fake news, sort of.
Yeah. So, for example, what he thinks about the Jews is, it's
because that's what's pumped at him.
Yeah, they're magical and they can do this and they can read your minds and all this sort of stuff.
Okay. Like in Borat.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, fair enough. No.
Okay. But it is funny, but at the same time, it's very thought provoking.
I mean, it's not got any war involved in it. Then it's purely about.
So it's more that it's set at wartime, and therefore certain things apply. And I'll tell you who else is in it. Sam Rockwell's in it as Captain Klesendorf.
I mean, if Hitler's an imaginary friend, that's definitely referencing a war.
Yeah, I was about to say that's quite a big reference. Yeah.
And he again has inner turmoil about being a captain.
Right.
Okay.
But honestly, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It is good. It is funny.
Only reason not on my list is because I haven't seen it. Yeah, so that'd be why it's not anywhere on my list.
Well, that's my number 3, Jojo Rabbit.
Well, there we go.
Right.
Math on to you.
My number 3 is 2023. I reckon you may have guessed this one.
I think I've got this one.
Yeah,
but
you think you've got it?
I think so, yeah.
It's 3 hours long, this film.
Dead on.
Dead on 3 hours.
Okay, I've got this one.
Is it higher up?
Yes.
Okay.
How high?
Do I have to tell you that?
No, just high. Well, yeah. We need to know.
It just makes it easier for planning.
It's my number 1.
Oh, okay. We'll come back to it.
Are you definitely? You got the same answer?
No other film I know is dead on 3 hours.
Yeah, I think we definitely have. Can I
give you a challenge?
8.3 out of 10.
Sorry, what's it? Say again?
8.3.
Yeah, it's the same one.
I'm going to come back to that because I've got no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
I probably should do, as it was last year.
I don't think you've seen it.
No, I don't think you've seen it.
It's not in my genre wheel, is it?
No, it's just that I think you haven't seen it.
You just haven't seen it.
Yeah, I know you haven't seen it. That's all.
Why? We've talked about it before. You've mentioned that you haven't.
Okay. Oh, I know what it is.
Good. Right, it's Dom's number 3 then.
That's with the blast off again.
It is with the blow off.
The blow off. There we go.
The big blow off. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
If the listeners don't know what we're talking about now, they do now.
Well, they will do in a minute.
Yeah.
Right, my number 3.
That's a famous blow off. Why can't I say blow off now?
Know.
Okay.
Just keep doing it. That helps.
No, don't do blow offs.
So my number 3 is 2021.
Oh,
he's gone new again.
He always does. Dominic Dominic only remembers the last 5 years.
I've gone for a very niche amount of films here. The very
okay.
With
2021 reference. Yep.
PG-13. Only 6.3 out of 10. I understand why, but I still think it's a good film.
Right. Does it reference the blow off?
Yes, in one scene.
Is it a comedy film? Comedy film?
It is not. No. Action, adventure, fantasy.
Ooh.
Give you some clues. Once again, it's part of the Marvel universe.
Oh, does the blow off have something to do with an origin? Does the blow off cause something? Is that why we see it?
Is it doing mutants?
It's caused by someone. Is what the assumption is in the film.
Okay. Should we stop using the word blow off?
No, I like it. I like it.
The film takes part after Endgame has happened. That's the context of it.
That's not a world war. You're not claiming Endgame as a world war.
No, there's a flashback scene. Right. Anyway, the bringing back of the population in Endgame causes the re-emergence of an ancient enemy called the Deviants in this film.
Is this from one of the Marvels? Like Ms.
Where
Marvel?
have you been? He's told us that.
No, so
As
there
in
are
Miss
3
Marvel
characters called Marvel in the Marvel films.
Oh, okay.
There is Captain Marvel, there's
Not
Ms.
one of those,
Marvel,
no.
and then
No,
there's
it can't be
someone
that
else.
because she's 1980s, the origin of the Captain Marvel.
So it's based on aliens, both and good, fighting one another, and they have been for thousands of years, 7,000 to be precise.
So that does sound like the Kree again.
They've gone back. Yeah, they came to Earth at 5,000 BC.
Is this the Eternals?
It is the Eternals. Yeah.
I've not seen the Eternals.
Oh
So-
God, I don't know how you can fit that in a best top 5.
What? No, purely based on the fact that I've gone for a small reference. And I
Is
think it's
Charlize
better than
Theron
Wolverine.
in it? Is she in
No.
that one?
No, Angelina Jolie is.
Okay.
He is. He is
Okay.
right.
I don't know. Like I said,
I
I've
for
not
a
seen it.
second thought that you were right, but he is right. It's
No,
Angelina
Salma
Jolie.
Hayek's in it.
Right.
Gemma Chan, Richard Madden,
So hold
Kit
on.
Harington,
Can you
Barry
give me
Keoghan.
a bit of a summary of the plot? Because I have not seen it, and I actually don't know the plot.
So I pretty much just told you it really that
Oh, okay.
they're immortal and they've been on Earth.
They are
they-
eternal.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
They're eternal. They've been sent to Earth to pretty much just oversee.
Are they currently on Earth?
They've been there since 5,000
There's
BC.
something weird about they came to the Earth because of something, but then they've been looking after
because of
the
an
Earth.
alien
Yeah.
called the Deviant,
Right.
which is a bad alien, which tried to pretty much just kill off the population of the
Sorry,
Earth.
you said the word bad alien, and I just can't help but laugh. There's good aliens and there's bad
And
aliens.
the deviant is the one that caused the nuclear bomb. Well, it wasn't a
No,
nuclear
so
bomb.
the link there is that Phastos,
Right.
who is one of the Eternals, who creates he creates weapons and machinery throughout time, and sometimes he provides this to humans in order to aid them in
yeah, so
creating things.
the
Have you
argument
seen it?
is,
Have
I
you
have
seen
seen
this?
this, yeah.
Right.
that will
Ty-
benefit the world.
my friend Tiny's in it. He plays one of the deviants. Obviously
Very-
not. It's CGI'd over the top.
They're very
But
tall, so-
yeah.
But he gives things to humanities to help speed up their development sometimes.
But this is the whole problem. This film is the whole problem with phase. What phase was it? 4?
We're in 4 or 5, isn't it?
Because this film ends with a massive thing in Earth that nobody then talks about ever again.
Isn't this the point of the multiverse, where you can just say, well, that was in a different version of the universe?
No, this was in our version.
Our version, yeah.
And basically in the Indian Ocean, I think it is now.
Is there a big hole in the ocean?
No,
Is that
there's a
where-
massive hand and a head sticking out of it.
That turns into a. It's yeah.
Right.
And
Pretty
everyone's
much just
like,
their
well, why does this not get referenced anymore?
Okay.
And it's because they don't want to continue with this film because it was not that good.
Yeah, and they didn't get.
Dom doesn't
involved.
think so. Dom thinks it's pretty good.
No, I agree that there's too much going on in the film, and I think the plot is very very basic, and you know exactly what's going on. But
Yeah.
the action in the film and the general fight scene is constant.
He's a
It's-
glutton for action, is Dom.
He is, yeah, but it just keeps you going.
He is.
I know he is, but I just found it a bit boring.
Okay.
I-
Well,
I
I'll
quite
have
like-
to.
I quite
I'll
I
have to
thought
watch it.
I actually thought the Kit Harington storyline was quite interesting to start with, and that's then gone dead as well, hasn't it? But
To the Black Knight reference. Wasn't it?
nobody's going to watch the end credits anymore now.
Okay.
Right, yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about. I've
No,
not
that's
seen
fine.
it, so-
Okay.
that's fine. But yeah, no, I like the film, and the fact that it had a really small reference to it is why I've gone from that, because it has a scene
So
where
Dominic's is top 5 films that
He can sneak in a reference.
reference the World Wars in order of smallest references possible. So
It's a
you're going from
reference.
big to small,
it's a
right?
reference. No,
Okay.
I think it's just a bit.
Obscure.
My next one is the most obscure.
Right.
Right.
There's my point.
But
Okay.
yeah, but so Phastos essentially gave them the atomic bomb, and then he went back and saw the mushroom cloud happening, and he realised that
Blow
he's
off.
just
The blow off.
he's just killed hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah,
That is one big blow off.
that is my number 3.
Okay.
You can't deny that that's a reference. So
No.
I don't know because I've not seen the film. I don't know if the reference is true. I'm taking your word for it, and Jeremy agrees.
yeah,
Yeah. It is there.
Right, Jeremy, what's
So
your
number
number
2?
2?
Right, my number 2. 2014.
Okay.
It's a 15.
Okay.
It's 2 hours 17. Do you want to say okay again?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Action biography drama.
Okay.
Right.
Now, I would argue it's referencing a bit of the war that you wouldn't necessarily think of.
Okay. Can I guess an actor that I think might be in it?
Now you got to be careful here because you might guess what my other film might be because of those But there you go.
All right, keep giving me some clues then.
Well then,
He's got overlapping characters in actors.
So this was written by the Coen brothers and directed by Angelina Jolie.
Oh, well, what do I know?
that's thrown me off.
That has thrown me off.
Now, biography means that it's
Based on reality.
based on reality, and probably most famous for being a book as well.
Right. So I have one, but I think it might be your other one then.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think
don't
you
know-
probably know my other one.
I don't know if it's a book.
So this one
Keep going. Yes.
starts with a near fatal plane crash.
Right.
And we have
Yeah.
mentioned this before on the podcast. I can't remember where.
A near fatal plane crash. Okay.
Yeah,
they
in
don't.
World War II again,
Mm-hmm.
but it's in Dominic's sort of area of the world.
Is it a superhero film?
No,
That's biography.
biography.
Sorry. I just realised that. Sorry. I'm just thinking of this.
Yes. He goes, yes, it is.
So Dominic's area of the world is that he keeps talking about
Japan.
Right. So we're talking about
Okay.
USA and Japan.
Is it Pearl Harbor?
It's not Pearl Harbor. That would never make my list.
And that's purely a war film.
And that
isn't
is a
it?
war film. Yeah.
I mean, films being kind, but go on.
Go on. I think we need to know
So
something else. Yeah.
it starts with a near fatal plane crash, and then somebody who was on a raft with two of his fellow crewmen for 47 days.
Is this okay? Fine. Does he hold a plank above his head?
Absolutely. It's not a plank. It's like
I think it's a plank of wood.
I wouldn't call it a plank because a plank by definition is like a 2x4. I think it's like a tree trunk, isn't it?
Okay, fine. Yeah. With the guy from
I'm shaking my head. I don't know what you're talking about.
The guy from Skins,
Yeah.
Jack O'Connell.
Right.
He plays a character called Zamperini.
I didn't realise this was what. Yeah, okay, fine.
So it is in World War II. There was an Olympian, Louis Zamperini. He basically spent 47 days on a raft after crashing, but then he's caught by the Japanese Navy and he's sent to a prisoner of war camp.
I have no idea what this film
What's
is.
it called?
I have not
That's
seen
gonna
this
annoy me.
film.
I'm not going to remember. It's about surviving to a certain. Or
Yeah,
being
pretty
resilient.
much. Yeah,
things
he's
like
doing it. He's saying all the right
Is
things.
it called Survivor?
No,
Okay, I don't know.
he's
It's
not.
called.
He's not broken. He's
Unhinged.
Unbroken.
unbroken.
That's
Very
it,
good.
it's cool. There we go.
Unhinged.
Unhinged. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
And you know, first of all, it's based on true story, so I love that sort
You
of
do.
element of it. Although I'm not into history, but
No, but that's different history.
Recent history.
but yeah, it talks about there's basically this infliction between him, the guy who's obviously in the prisoner of war camp, and the head of the prisoner of war camp, because he's trying to make his name, and work his way up the ranks. He's in charge of that prison,
Right.
but he obviously wants to go higher. And this guy is basically causing a thorn in his side by basically saying no, don't. And, but he doesn't want to shoot him because that's seen as like a weakness. You need to break these people.
Right. Okay. So he is unbroken. Right.
Yeah.
I see.
Because he
Thank
pretty
you.
much just
won't do
doesn't-
as he's
won't
told,
do as he's
and he
told,
won't
yeah.
be broken.
Or he'll say, "I'll make you do this," and he says, "Okay, I'll do it."
Okay.
and he makes him hold it, and he pretty much puts a gun to him, and then he makes him hold a
Tree above his
tree
head.
above his head, and then go, if you drop that, I'll shoot you. Or
Yeah.
he gets one of the guards to try and shoot him, and then he just doesn't drop.
And basically, by you can understand by doing that, he sort of rallies the rest of the people around him because
They're
he's
their
seen
own,
as a
they're
bit of
their
a
own worst enemy.
yeah,
aren't they?
exactly.
So the reference there.
Well, because it
Isn't that-
references the war. It's more about being in a prison of war.
But which war is it?
World War II.
Okay. Well, there's the reference. So it's a prisoner of war camp from World War II.
Yeah,
There you go,
it's
fine
just
then.
that for
with
me that's
tick.
not the war, is it? It's talking about something that happened to
Yes.
somebody in the war,
Mm-hmm.
and it's more about a prisoner of war camp.
Okay.
Okay.
That's why I think it's a reference.
Yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing with your reference.
It's a
I think
biography by definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just so happened that it's in World War II
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't
Okay.
have happened if
because
it
he was
wasn't
because he was an
World War II.
Olympian as well. I forgot to add
You
he
did mention.
yeah he trained as a long distance runner, I think it was,
Yeah,
and
that's
they
it.
show it in the beginning. And he again was told he wasn't going to make it, and then was resilient and stuck at it. And yeah,
Okay, there's a message there somewhere.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Right. That was your number 2.
Yep, it's a good film. If you watch it,
No, I've
you'd
never
like
seen
it.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dominates
I
it.
feel like I'd have a different.
I don't feel
top
like I've
five
seen
if I
any of
don't.
your films this week. They are war films. I'm not going to have seen many things.
They're not
But
war
we had
films.
number
They're not
fives
allowed to be
together.
war films.
We do. That's true.
Okay, so you're number 2, Matthew.
My number 2 is a 1995 classic, in my opinion. It's a 15. It's 8.0 on IMDb.
Oh, that's
Okay.
popular.
Good. It's 2 hours and 9 minutes. And it is the slimmest of references. It's slightly bigger reference.
So you had this one in your head.
My number 1.
You had this one in your head. You knew it as soon as we said
Yes.
references. You were like,
Yes.
"Bam, this is it."
So the reference is there is a flashback to World War One in the trenches where the main character gets shot in the leg.
Hold on.
Okay, go on. What, have you got this?
You can't have this. I can't see you having this.
No, it's 95 that's put me off now.
1995.
Mm.
Go on, carry on.
So there's a flashback to World War One where the main character gets shot in the leg, and then there is some real confusion because the character has the bullet taken out of his has his photograph taken, and then it is clearly seen that he was in World War One, and yet he exists in 1995.
So it's like Time Traveler's Wife or something.
There is a time travel
Yeah.
element to this, yes.
1995.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
No.
I'm trying to think. The Time Machine.
No.
What is he travelling?
Well, I don't really know. It's a bit weird to see, but there is a bit where he keeps going back and forward through time, and at one point he eats a spider, so that they know when he went back to, because they can't quite work out when he's gone back.
Is he evading people?
So hold on. Is he
running
just
away
in
from-
2 time zones?
No, so he starts off in a prison, and part of the way he's going to be released is the people in charge of the prison say that he's very good at looking. He has very good observational skills, so they want to send him back in time, but they're not very good at judging when they go back in time, so they send him back in time to a number of different places, and they ended up coming out in about 1995.
God, this rings a bell
yeah.
now.
If I tell you, I'm trying not to give it away too much. Okay, so it goes back to 1995, and the reason they're sending him back is because they are all living underground, apart from animals that live on the surface of the earth. There has been a pandemic that has basically humans cannot exist on the surface of the earth.
I don't know if I've seen this then.
You have seen this.
Oh, no. Only animals.
Only animals.
And no
yep.
one goes up and lives with them. No.
And the title of the film references a terrorist cell that they think has caused the pandemic.
Oh my
The
God.
terrorist cell.
Matthew really wants us to guess this because
What do you mean by terrorist cell?
So they think that
As
the
in, like,
terrorists let out the
Al
the virus.
Qaeda or something like that, but it's not. Yeah.
I don't know what else to give you. The tagline is
How
the
about
future
people that are
is
in
history.
it?
So people in it. Well, there's only Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt's in it as a bit of a nutter. His name is
No.
Yep.
12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys.
Oh, Matthew loves that film as well. I should
Yeah.
have guessed that.
12 Monkeys. So like I said,
Can
my
I be
reference
honest? I've
point is-
never seen
I've
it.
never seen it fully.
Are you joking?
I've never seen it.
No, I know it's
Surely
one of the
you've seen
films
it.
I should have seen.
So yeah, so the reference is that he does go back in time.
Who's he?
Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis
okay.
goes back to World War One, gets shot in the leg, and then suddenly appears in 1995. A doctor finds him, and she pulls out like what she recognises as World War One shrapnel, which doesn't make sense to her. And then she finds a book that's got his picture in it or what she thinks is his picture from. So she sort of then believes that he is a time traveller.
And is that the plot?
Well, the plot is that it's a dystopian future. It's Terry Gilliam film, so it's all very sort of odd and creaky. But the plot is there's been a pandemic that's broken out that's basically killed off anyone from living on the
Do you know,
surface
I
of
would
the
have
earth.
never guessed that.
No.
Because the bits that I think I've seen over your shoulder from being kids or whatever,
Yeah.
or when we lived together or anything like that, I don't think I got that gist at all.
He gets locked up in asylum because he's telling everyone that he's from the future, and they're like, "You don't come from the future. It's a complete.
That's
You're
why he's-
you're
Oh,
mad."
okay.
And
I
then
didn't
they
know
end
that's why
up
he was in
convincing him that he is mad. So then he's like, "Okay, you're right. I'm."
And
You're
you don't
right.
know how he travels.
No, because then he suddenly appears back in. It's not like you see the time machine. They just sort of seem to put him. He's in a room.
That sounds
he
like
gets injected
Loki
with
now,
stuff.
that he's just...
He just
Oh, there you
disappears
go.
through time. Yeah,
Wow. That makes me want to watch it more.
Makes me want to watch it as well. That sounds like a really good film.
it is a good film.
Yeah, and I know it is good, but I completely thought it was like a sane asylum.
Yeah, I thought it was
There is a bit where he's in there because they lock him up because they think he's crazy.
Yeah.
But
That
then
makes sense.
But he
though.
then also disappears from it, but where he gets pulled back.
Where he's
to normal
going
time.
between
So
time.
as soon as he sort of thinks that he's actually insane.
So 12 Monkeys is...
So he is
is
literally time jumping constantly,
Mhm. Yes.
basically.
And what does 12 Monkeys relate to then? Do you say?
I'm not going to say much more.
Oh,
fine.
that's like Kaiser Soze. Okay.
It's not quite, but
Okay.
right.
Well, there you go.
That was my number 2 because it is fabulous and you should watch it.
So Dominic's number 2. After how are you going to follow that? 12 Monkeys.
I'm not, I don't think. I'm not right. No. Mine is very finely.
Is this
My
your most
reference.
obscure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a very, very obscure one for my number 1. Go on.
It's more that they have a conversation about it,
Okay.
and they reference the war in the conversation.
This could be the same
See-
as my number 1.
See, that is what I thought was going to be easy to find or think of
No.
when we wrote
No,
this.
It was hard.
But it was not. Which World War?
World War One.
Yes,
Ooh.
agreed. I might have this as my number
So
1.
mine is 2016.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
7.2 out of 10, and it's 2 hours 12 minutes. It's
Right.
it's it's based in 1926,
And
so
they
it's
have
after-
they have a conversation about World War 1.
about what they fought in it and where he was and what he did in it, essentially. And there's also a reference to, without giving what I'm talking about away,
Mm-hmm.
is why he's still got an item with him. They let him keep something because he
He's gonna have
fought
to
in
give
the
us
war.
more than
Yeah, no,
this.
that's not my clue.
Okay, fine.
That's not my
okay,
clue.
that's a bit of the storyline. Fine.
Adventure, family, fantasy.
Family, right. Do you say it's a
PG?
PG?
PG-13, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Film is the first of a trilogy of 3 books that have been all made into films.
Right.
The author of these books is famous for another set of 7 children books that have been made into 8 films in total.
Right, so the author...
This is set, but this trilogy that I'm talking about, this initial film, is set before the 7-book set that everyone knows about.
do you know what? I think I know what film it is.
Go on.
So I think he's talking about J.K. Rowling, and I think he's talking about Fantastic Beasts.
And where to find them. I am indeed.
Do you know what? I thought of this and I thought in my head, but I couldn't remember.
I couldn't remember if there's a war reference
He
properly
gets
or
to
not.
what
keep his
the
wand.
references.
He gets to keep his wand because he helped in the war.
So Newt Scamander helped in the war.
Scamander helped in the war.
But does that mean it's post-war?
Post-World War One.
The film is, yeah.
It's
But he
definitely-
references the word war in it.
Oh, okay.
Because the
He
conversation
mentions
is...
it for 2 seconds.
So it talks about... He's talking to Jacob, the guy who owns the bakery.
I did think about this set of
He
films.
goes-
I did think
Yeah.
about it.
He goes, did you get a loan? He goes, I stayed in the army too long, apparently. I don't know. And then he went, oh, of course, I fought in the war. Everyone fought in the war. Did you fight in the war? And he went, yeah, I went mostly with dragons, Ukrainian iron bellies. He's on the Eastern Front in World War One.
I
But
did.
he's- he-
This
they-
is the
they
so
reference
this is
it,
the
yeah.
first movie, the first of the trilogy.
First of
Which
trilogy.
is good,
It
by
is
the
good.
way.
Yeah,
I do
but
like it.
Have you seen all 3?
No.
No, I don't think I've seen the third one. I've definitely seen the first and the second.
I've not followed it through. I've not heard good things about the second two, so I've not...
Yeah, then they don't reach the dizzy heights of the first one. The first
No.
one's set up for...
It was a lot to live up to, though, wasn't it?
But I loved it, yeah. I
Yeah.
liked his... I just really like the film. Magical suitcase, all the different types of animals, like the mole that likes to... Or the mole-like creature that...
Platypus?
Is it a platypus?
I don't know what it is, actually. It might be a mole.
It looks more like a mole, but...
I
that
think it's
steals-
halfway between, you're
yeah,
right.
that steals jewellery.
Is it a kiwi?
There's more
It's
than
got a bit
one.
of a kiwi vibe to it as well.
There's
It's
more
got
than one in
flowers,
the
hasn't
end,
it?
but there
Ah.
you go.
Right.
But yeah.
I actually prefer the rhino who's
Yes.
in season, so
In
to
season,
speak.
yeah. He chases after
Do you
the
now,
baker.
Joe? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, why did you have to go there?
Or
didn't
the
go anywhere.
the dragon-like or creature or the thing that gets bigger or smaller depending on like emotions, I think it is, or something.
Oh.
You
So you
talking about
quite
the one
like
in the
all the f-
teapot?
Yeah,
You like all the Fantastic Beasts, don't you?
yeah, absolutely. I
get
thought the
that.
film was pretty
And the
good,
bird,
really
isn't
good.
there like there's a stick insect and like
Yes.
a weird
There's
bird
multiple
thing
stick
as
That
well.
insects.
sells them to a
Mhm.
dwarf or something. Yeah,
No, that is a good film. I do
No,
enjoy that one.
I agree. I thought it was
Mm.
going to set up more than it did.
Could have done. It could have done.
It got. Is that the one that's a bit dark?
Did it? Does
Or
it?
is, no, the second one's a bit darker.
this one's quite
isn't
dark
it?
because
I
he's got.
thought
There's a
I thought they were
character-
going to do more with it to explain the Harry Potter set of films.
I think they got. I think they got a little bit twisted, didn't they? Because
Mm.
obviously they had to change one of the characters.
Yeah, as in the person who played him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
so clearly they had to change Depp for. I've forgotten his name. Magnus. Is it Magnus?
I
can't
thought it
remember
was
who changed
Colin,
from.
Colin Farrell.
No,
Colin Farrell plays separate.
Colin Farrell is Graves, who's the
You've forgotten
detective.
that you might have seen one bit.
I've seen it.
I'm not going to ruin it for
Yeah.
everyone.
No,
But
fine.
yeah, but Johnny Depp does appear. Yes, but it is quite dark because it's
It
about
is quite dark.
an orphan.
Yeah.
Who has like dark
That's the
magical
second one,
powers.
though, right?
Do they
That's the first
mention?
I can't remember which bit's in which.
When he's a black ball, essentially.
Because it's the origins. It's like Grindelwald, and it's
Yeah.
That's
the
right,
race.
yeah.
It's sort of, there's the racism vibe to the whole thing, right? Because it's all about
Yes.
like sort of go back
Mudbloods
to
or not.
Mudbloods or
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice
That's my
mini
number two.
reference.
And it wasn't your number one, Matthew.
Wasn't my number one, no, but we'll
No.
talk about my number 3 in a bit when we get around
Yeah,
to
we
Dom's.
will. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Right, well, move
So
on
down
quickly then.
So your
Yes.
number one, Jim.
My number one,
Hmm.
2014, 12A, 1 hour 54. I'm pretty sure Matthew knows this. Biography, drama, thriller.
Biography drama.
In 2014. Why does Matthew know it?
I don't know.
Because I thought he was going to mention this last time because I mentioned...
Ah,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
So I'm just going to go throw a random guess out straight away, shall I? Monuments Men.
No, that's on my... Do you know that's on my
Yeah.
honourable mentions? Only because I know it's the one that Mum is going to say, oh, why didn't you have that one on there?
Yeah, it is a good film. I did
It is a
enjoy
good
that.
film. Yeah.
Okay,
No, so biography, drama, thriller.
actors, please.
Oh, that's too easy.
Okay.
Okay, give us some clues then.
Here we go. Love will make a man do strange things, I suppose. And somebody replies, in this case, love just lost Germany the whole bloody war.
Oh, I know what it is. If it is what I think it is it Cumberbatch?
Yep.
It's The Imitation Game.
Imitation Game.
I love that film.
See,
I've only seen it once.
I
I've
agree.
only
It's
seen it once.
completely. It's not a war. Not a war.
The other
film.
quote
No,
was,
it's-
some people thought we were at war with the Germans. Incorrect. We were at war with the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a fabulous film.
Great.
World War II, set in
Fantastic
England.
film.
You forget that Mark Strong's in it. I
Mm.
mean, Dominic doesn't like it probably because of the lead lady, but
She's annoying again. But yes.
Keira Knightley.
she's not annoying in that.
She's
That's
very good in
harsh.
Oh, she is annoying. I know why she's upset and stuff like that, but yeah, she's just an annoying character.
There's an argument over
think you just don't like
she
Keira
basically
Knightley.
saved Alan Turing.
Mm.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that, but she's still frustrating. She's
It's
so
the-
moany.
It's not the character that's frustrating. It's
This is-
the actress.
I was going to say, you are basically saying that this
She has
woman who
one-
saved Alan Turing from...
No, he's not saying that woman. He's saying the actress is
Yeah, no,
annoying.
not
That's what he's
nothing
saying.
against
She
her.
plays that role quite well.
She does. I agree with you.
Yeah, moany youngling.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, God, yeah.
But
Yes, no, great film.
it is set in wartime and it
Of course it
references the war, but it's not a war film.
No, I agree with that. I didn't put it in because I think I thought it had too strong a reference to it.
Really?
In the fact
No,
that
I
it's,
disagree. I didn't choose it because I've only seen it once.
I think it's a
Oh,
great
I would have
film.
tried to
I've
watch
easily
it
watched it
a few
5 or
times.
6 times, yeah. And I will pick that film up pretty easily. But actually, what I'd probably do is I'd pick it up and then be like, oh, actually, I'll go from the beginning again. Just because you miss certain bits of where he comes from, how he gets into it, like how they select him and he has to go to the sort of test at the beginning. And Mark Strong's obviously
Yeah.
giving them the test, and he's basically like, why am I bothering with all this?
Right. Okay. I'm trying to
His
remember.
arrogance prevails.
I saw it at the
Yeah.
cinema, but I don't think I've seen it since the cinema.
Oh, really? You
I
should
really
watch it
enjoyed
again. Yeah.
I've watched it quite a few times. It's just a
And obviously,
good watch. Yeah.
as a maths teacher, it is definitely one of the films, not that I'm allowed to or ever would do, show at the end of year. Right, what are we going to do today, kids? Imitation Game.
We've got a week of lessons left.
Yeah.
Let's start Imitation Game.
No.
But you can do, you obviously you can go to Bletchley Park now and it's a big thing and all those sorts of things. But yeah, I'll be honest with you, I knew obviously about Turing and if we're honest, I probably know about the Apple on the Mac more than anything else before I watched that film.
Right.
But then obviously I've sort of delved into that a little bit deeper because it is so impressive what they did. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it
in
is
a time
unbelievable.
before computers.
Yeah.
That is the computer.
The size of the machine as well. But yeah.
Yeah, and how quickly they knew it was going to process. Like, your calculator is more powerful than what that was.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Very nice.
Little side plot of a world war,
Yeah.
but
Well,
a massive part of
I was
it.
about to say, without the war,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have got together and done it. So
The worst bit for me is when, without trying to spoil it, when they realise they have broken the code, there's an emotional plug
there is.
of what happens at that point.
Yeah.
And you think, oh my goodness. Basically, they had to be mathematical about how they impacted the war, because otherwise they would know that
they knew what was going on.
They'd worked it out.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just so clever.
But awful.
Yeah, but awful at the same time.
Someone else somewhere having to make some horrible decisions. Yeah.
Playing God, yeah. Right.
Nice.
That's my number one.
Number one.
Good job. No,
Matthew's obscure reference, number one.
I was really pleased when I came up with this one. But I came up with it and then had to check that I'd remembered correctly.
Makes sense. I would do that too.
Right. So there are 4 taglines to this film. 4. I mean, there are
surely
5.
not 4 recognised.
Go on then, go for it. Go.
Right. So I'll give you them. I don't think they'll help.
For everyone else listening.
So the taglines. That's what I'm going to start with. I'll give you. No, I'm not going to give you the. Right. Tagline 1. Girls like me don't make invitations like this to just anyone. Tagline 2. You won't know the facts until you've seen the fiction. Tagline 3. I don't smile for pictures. And tagline 4. Just because you are a character doesn't mean you have character. Right, so they're the 4 taglines. Now, I did not know any of those taglines. I just thought, wow, there are 4 of them. Brilliant. So it's from 1994.
Do they reference specific parts in the film? Or
They must do. I was struggling to
hold
realise.
on, you're still looking at them now, knowing the film, thinking, don't really understand how that works. There must have been a picture with it, right?
No. It was just there were taglines. It was one of those ones where you could see all the different taglines.
Is the main character a woman?
There is a woman in it.
Okay.
There is not. I would say there is
a woman in it.
Brilliant. Yeah.
There is a character in it that is a main character. There is no real one main character in this movie.
Okay.
I will tell you, it is the number 8 rated film on IMDb.
What?
Right. Shall I tell you the World War reference?
Well, hold on. Have we had years yet?
I said 1994.
94.
Right. So I'm going to give you the reference.
How long is it?
It is 2 hours and 34 minutes.
See, it matters.
2 hours and
2.5
34
hours. For a 94 film, that's quite long.
I'm just trying to. Is it like a gangster film?
Ish, yeah. Yes. In fact, yes. I'm just going to say yes.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Right. So, the scene where the war is referenced. There is a character called Captain Coons, who is.
That is terrible.
That's awful. Yeah, God.
Who is sat there talking to the screen, talking to the camera as one of the characters in a flashback.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Yep.
Okay.
So he's talking to him, and he talks about how this kid's granddaddy uses that word. His granddaddy bought something, which I'm not going to tell you yet. Bought something during World War One, and it was very expensive at the time because you couldn't usually buy them all that much. And then he had it during World War One. He had it during some other wars. He had it during World War Two, and then during World War Two, he died with it. And he gave this item to Captain Coons, who then kept it and is then giving it to this character. So
like passing on a family heirloom.
Yes, exactly. And this is a big key part of this movie.
Captain Coons.
Right. Yeah, and I've got, the name's good because I didn't think that would help. It is one of the best movies ever. It ties in nicely with our icebreaker because I remember watching this film at home. We told our parents that this film was suitable for Dom to watch, and Mum and Dad walked in at the worst possible point in the movie
and sent me to bed
and said, "You need to turn this off immediately. That is not appropriate for a
it's not House on the
13-year-old."
Haunted Hill.
No,
I don't remember watching that.
Right.
No.
Do you want some?
Who's in it?
Yeah, you're going to have to give us more.
There are loads of characters.
Matthew's playing the game where he wants to keep this dragging out as long as he possibly can.
Right. Steve Buscemi is in it.
Okay.
Eric Stoltz is in it. Bruce Willis is in this one.
This one?
Well, he was in one of my previous ones.
Okay. I thought you meant it was like part of the series.
Uma Thurman, Samuel L. Jackson, Tim Roth, Christopher Walken, Harvey Keitel. It is Pulp Fiction.
What?
The watch that Butch has was a World War One watch that was bought, and the story that he's given is that his granddaddy bought it, or his great granddaddy bought it, passed it on to his dad, and then his dad got captured during World War II and had to hide it up his bottom.
Oh my goodness!
And then Christopher Walken, when he died, he passed it to Christopher Walken, who then also kept it on his bottom to hide it from the Nazis, and that was what was passing to Butch.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
Well, and you hear that story.
you hear that entire story. That is like a monologue.
That's
I
a
don't remember
reference.
That. Blimey. Okay, well there
And
you
I'm
go.
not going to argue with the film.
So that had to be my number one film. And the bit I remember was the bit with Zed's dead and the Gimp is the bit where Mum and Dad walked in while we were watching it with Dominic.
Yeah, that's fair. How old were we at that point?
Well, Dom was 13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an 18, wasn't it?
It is an 18. Yeah.
Love that. Because you did that as well with House on Haunted Hill. That's
Yeah,
why I
that happened.
referenced it,
It happened a few times. You probably shouldn't have been watching those at 13, but there we go.
Well, Dad was in the room of that one.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
was his fault. But yeah.
Dominic wanted to swear there. Did you hear him?
That is my number one film. I think that
Okay.
reference struck me really late on, and I was like, that is a World War One reference and a World War Two reference. Amazing. Love that film.
Okay.
So, there we go. No, I agree.
So-
I can't deny that. I love that film.
So, your number one, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Now we've got to talk about your number 3, Matt, which is also Dominic's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but yeah.
Is this a
100%.
reference, Dom?
It's more of a, this is a stronger reference, I suppose, but
Okay.
it's very much a.
So I'm going to guess we're talking Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
Yes,
we are talking
yeah.
Oppenheimer.
Okay, I still haven't seen it.
No, but
I do need to get round to it, but it is a big commitment to watch 3 hours at the
Yeah.
moment.
watch it in three settings.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think you can.
That's like saying it's a mini series. Yeah, I could do that.
It's got lots of, because it's Christopher Nolan, it flicks back and forward through time, so
does,
it's
yeah.
quite easy to pick up bits later. So if you're going to watch it in parts, it's actually not that bad to do separate, I would say.
Okay, so it's like
Because
it's almost got
lots of
like
flashbacks,
scenes.
yeah, it does. It has little
Okay.
scenes from different time frames, and it helps you keep up. Basically,
Got you.
the direction is amazing to do that.
Yeah. To where we are now and
Mm-hmm.
back
Where you
to
were.
where he was and stuff. Yeah.
And it obviously has had its plaudits, so people are raving about it still.
It's fabulous.
It is a great film. Yeah. I still think they could have shortened it by about half an hour quite easily. But
I don't know. Probably the
The
only reason
court
it's number
scenes are
3 on
just
my
excellent,
list is
yeah.
because I've only seen it the once. So there's the only reason it's further down on my list.
That makes sense. So you don't know if you like it that much, then, Matthew.
I know I like it a lot, and it's at number
But
3.
you like Christopher Nolan.
I do
as well.
love Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan
Yeah.
movies, so there was never going to be a loser there.
So just so because I haven't watched it,
Mm-hmm.
it's not entirely set. It does
It's
a lead
completely
up
separate
to, and
It's, I would say, is set. It's all around the fact that Oppenheimer didn't really like the fact that he invented the atomic bomb,
yeah, pretty much.
and it's the lead up to that. It's the fallout from, like, literally and sort of metaphorically fallout.
Great pun there.
from the whole thing, because he just wanted to do it from a science perspective, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
And then when he had done it, it got sort of taken off him,
It was like
and then
public
used.
property, and like you've made something we want, and
And
therefore
then-
it's ours.
I think some of that there's really good quotes in there, isn't it? Something like that, or just with him and his. I didn't realize he was around at the same time as Einstein. I thought Einstein
Yeah.
was so much.
There's-
No,
there's
you're right. I wouldn't have thought like that.
There's
Yeah.
a scene where they interact, and I think they did work in the same area. They weren't like
Yeah.
physical area,
because they
as
asked him
opposed
to check the numbers and things like that,
Mm.
just to.
Well, because he was recognised as somebody who might
Yeah,
know
but they
similar
pretty much-
amounts, I guess.
So it's got. I mean, the cast is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
So I mean, you got Cillian Murphy and Emily Blunt and
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., but you also got Matt Damon, who I think I almost forgot was in it, despite the fact he's clearly in
He's
it,
clearly
because
in
he's
it from the
very good in
beginning
it.
as well,
He
yeah.
doesn't seem to play Matt Damon.
He's the military man.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah.
You got Kenneth Branagh, was it Casey Affleck, Matthew
So they're all
Modine,
part of his-
as
all
in
part of his
Stranger
team.
Things. Matthew Modine's
No,
in
got
it.
you, yeah.
Rami Malek plays a smallish part in it. Gary Oldman's in it.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
not bad.
But it tells you the whole story. It's not. It's
Mm.
not just about that. It's about the after.
And do you emote with him? You understand? You're empathetic towards him or not?
He could have stopped. But it was
They
a
could have
race.
stopped.
It was a
They-
race.
it was a
of-
race. The
either
whole-
us
the whole-
or them type
Yeah,
thing,
the whole
wasn't it?
point was that the Germans were also.
So there's a moral dilemma, but also there's a them or us scenario.
It was just
Yeah.
interesting getting the great. They just basically sort of tried to get the greatest minds that they could together to come up with
Out in the middle of
something
a desert,
Mm.
essentially. Yeah,
okay.
in secret.
but yeah,
Well, I will watch it.
You should. You should. There's a big lot of scenes in a boardroom basically where
Yeah.
they're talking about stuff because there is some.
You
sort of,
can't handle the truth.
there's an independent review basically.
so he's been accused. I looked at this because I didn't know
Mm.
what because the film starts with it, and I'm like, I don't really know what's going on, but because I didn't realise that they were putting him on trial because they were accusing him of being a communist.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Because
Oh, that's a twist.
well,
Yeah.
because he was part of a communist.
he was.
He wasn't part of it, but he had parties with people that
He had
were.
friends that
strong
were, had
Oh,
communists.
and they
It's-
went down that
it's the
path.
McCarthyism.
There was a
Ism
link to
side
the
of things.
Russians and
Mm.
all that. So
and they were worried that he was going to give his secrets across and what he'd done to the communists.
Oh
and-
wow! And that's
Right.
where you kick in.
but it shows you how kind of volatile it was as well because
Mm.
they had no idea what they were doing. And like one of the quotes I've got is like, "Are you saying that there's a chance that when we push the button we destroy the world?" And he went, "Near
Yep.
zero, near zero,
Near zero,
He
but
went,
not zero.
Yeah, because it could have the
Didn't
reaction.
know the impact of
the
it.
reaction.
And there's a
it
there's a
could have
nice scene with
caused,
the big goldfish bowl that they keep putting like ball bearings in. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
good.
to try and show what they're trying to build to.
I do remember a lot of it, so clearly I do absolutely. love
Okay,
it, yeah,
well,
but
No problems there. I
definitely worth a
will.
watch.
I will happily watch that.
Cool.
So that's us. That's our main challenge over. Matthew, you implied you got a bonus for me.
I did. I had a Captain America First Avenger for you.
Yeah, too predictable, mate.
Yeah.
Dominic, what did you have for me?
I had the King's Speech.
Oh, yes.
No, I think you're confusing me with our mother again.
No, just because I thought, yeah. Just the reference to that.
So what did you
Obviously,
both have for me?
I had Oppenheimer, so I got you
Oh,
right.
you got me right. Yeah.
I'm not even sure if this is one, but I put Monty Python Meaning of Life.
Yeah, there is a scene in that. I've had that in my honourable mentions. The
Yeah,
bit with the
because-
grandfather clocks. All the clocks.
Right, so I was right. Okay.
Yeah, you are right.
And Dom, I put Enemy at the Gates for Dom because
that's a
he
pure
does love
warfare.
that film.
That's a
Yeah,
good
I
film.
know it is, but I didn't
I
know how
know.
you were going to infer it. But I know
I-
you love that film.
I had Inglorious Bastards for Dom.
Oh, do you know what? I didn't want to because that is
A war film
It's war
compared
film,
to
yeah.
yours. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get
Compared
that.
to the rest of yours, it's a
So-
war film,
yeah,
but also not
absolutely.
quite. Not quite.
Yeah, my list would have completely different if I would have gone with like sideline stories. Cause,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that another time if we get
If
to
we
the
get
war.
that, it'd be next
Imagine
week.
if we get
Oh
that
my
next
goodness.
If we get to the war films, I've got some proper references.
week. So, any honourable mentions that people want to mention that haven't been discussed already?
So
Yes.
go on.
Oh, I had a good one. Nanny McPhee and the Big Bang.
That's what I've got.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
nice.
weird that I found that as well.
I thought, Coming Home. I thought, what movies have people come home from the war and it's set afterwards? Because that's the reference, right? So that was, that one is the only other one. Dunkirk. That was the other one.
That is definitely a war film.
It is. Reference it quite strongly.
I've got Age of Adeline. Anyone seen that one?
We saw that in Poland.
In Warsaw. We went to the cinema and watched it with
Your face,
in Warsaw?
Dom's
When
face.
were you in Warsaw?
We were there for the European Cup final,
Mhm.
the football final.
We were waiting for
Sevilla
our flight.
versus Zenit, I think it was.
Mm.
And we had 3 hours to kill, and we went to the cinema.
I
Was
love
it-
the fact that's
was
the
it
movie
dubbed?
we chose as well, Age of Adeline.
It wasn't dubbed then.
No, it was in
but-
English. It
No,
was
it had
subtitled.
subtitles.
Yeah,
So, and it's
Polish
amazing,
subtitles.
amazing how you think you can read Polish for a little while, and just because you're trying to link words. That's
Yeah.
what my brain did. It was but there we
Yeah,
go.
that's a really small reference, but there's a picture of her with people from the war.
Right, there you go.
Well, she's been around for ages.
And then the other one was Valkyrie. I don't know if you've seen that with Tom Cruise, but that's
I haven't seen it,
Kind
but-
of
I've not.
it's a sideline as well. It's where pretty much he's part of the German army and German
Yeah.
officers, and they then group together to get rid of the top bunch. Really, it's just trying to kill Hitler within the German army. But
What about you, Jeremy?
I had the classic Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
I
Yeah.
had that was something I thought of.
I had 2 films which I know I've seen and I know I like, but I can't remember enough about. Which was The Zookeeper's Wife, which is set in the Polish zoo
Right.
during the war, and The Book Thief, which again is set at war, but I can't entirely
Never seen
remember
them.
the whole plot.
I've never seen them. But yeah,
Other than that, the one I mentioned I was toying between was Captain America or Wonder Woman because
Oh,
so
I've got
I
Wonder
mentioned
Woman as
Wonder
well, yeah.
Woman, yeah.
and I thought you probably could put like the producers in there as well.
Yeah, you could. Lots of Hitler
Seeing as
references.
there's lots of references.
That
there.
is one of the things you could have done. Hitler references are World War II
Yeah.
references.
Yeah, springtime for Hitler.
So
yeah.
what about? So I thought of Pan's Labyrinth. So it's set.
Yeah.
It's set
I-
in 1944, but I'm pretty sure it's
I've
set
never
during
seen
the
it.
Spanish Civil War.
I don't think I've seen it.
Mm. So I wasn't
No.
sure if it was actually referencing the World Wars or whether it was referencing a different.
I think
war.
well, from what I read about it, because it came up on one of the things, and yeah, it's meant to be World War, but,
It is okay.
Yeah, I believe so. But
There you go.
okay.
but I've not seen it. So.
So, shall we summarise our top 5?
Yes, you can
You
start.
first, Jim.
Oh yeah, of course. I went off. Or should I say,
You blew off.
I blew off.
You blew off first.
If this didn't have its own title, this would be the one where Jeremy blew off. My number 5 film was Captain America: First Avenger. My number 4 film, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. My number 3 film, Jojo Rabbit. Number 2 film, Unbroken. And number 1 film, The Imitation Game.
My top 5 was number 5 was Captain America: The First Avenger. Number 4 was Sucker Punch. Number 3 was Oppenheimer. Number 2, 12 Monkeys. And number 1, Pulp Fiction.
Sorry, I'm still laughing about Donkey Punch. Apologies. sorry. So my top 5 were number 5, Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, Witch of the Wardrobe. Number 4 was The Wolverine. Number 3 was Eternals. Number 2 was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And my number 1 was Oppenheimer.
Nice.
And so let's leave as quickly as we possibly can, as Dominic brings up again the one thing I didn't want him to remember. But a quick reminder that you can get in contact with us, as always, at Top 5 Films That. If there's something we've forgotten, if you've got really obscure reference, I really want to hear it,
Yes,
because
please.
it's so hard to... You have to think of it, but if there's films we haven't seen or haven't seen for a while, we're probably going to forget those little
Mhm.
references. Like, in my head, I thought, is there an Austin Powers that has it? Or is there...
Yeah.
you know, comedies that reference back to it for some reason. I can't remember why, but I couldn't think of them off the top of my head. So please correct me if I'm wrong. But other than that, we've got to look forward to the quiz next week, where obviously if you're not listening every week, I'm absolutely smashing it. And
And if you are listening, you'll know.
that I'm smashing it. So let's leave that there, and hopefully you'll tune in next week. So that's a bye from me.
Bye from me.
And it's a bye from me.
So that's a bye from everybody.